So now we have come to the point in the training where most likely feedback as a habit is the challenge. But we need to understand why it can be a challenge to come into a habit here. For example, say that you're making a New Year resolution about to study German. This will be the year where you really study German. You study for a couple of weeks, you are inspired, motivated, but then maybe in February or March something started to slip. Maybe you started to walk out because the sun is coming out, and suddenly you have come out from the habit, out from your discipline. Many people have experienced this. We call this phenomena backlash. You're having a strong intention, and then after a while you're slipping back into old patterns. For another example could be you want to be in a good physical shape. You start to run 5 times per week. After a couple of weeks you go down to 3, and then suddenly you're realizing I'm only running once per week now. I'm more looking at football, soccer. 2 months ago I was inspired, but now I'm down to once per week. We call that backlash. You started at that point realizing there's something within me. The enemy is within me. So let's look into this phenomena more deeply. So you're realizing that the enemy, the challenge, is within you. So we call that phenomena backlash. It is a realization that the challenge is within you, not outside you. There is something happens inside you, and let's look deeper into what's going on inside you. So let's get a deeper understanding about backlash, this phenomena that we all have encountered in our life. Assume for a moment you're learning something. You're taking a training, or you're trying to come into a habit in your life. At one point, you're reaching a desirable level. But after a while, something may happen to you, because you may encounter a critical point. It may be the day after the training or a couple of weeks later. You're having a backlash. You're falling back into old patterns, old habits. Because these old habits, they have a gravity inside you. Because we need to know how to establish this new habit. To do that consciously. Because if you can do that, that new platform, this new habit, can take us then to the new level of performance or behaviors. But to be able to do that, we need to understand and accept the phenomena backlash. I've taken many trainings and also given many trainings where I can see big difference in the participants. Some people really start to practice immediately, and some people having a major backlash actually. They may come back after months and say, oh, I forgot to really use these skills because I was so busy with my work, or I was on a vacation. So we need to know, after we have jumped up to the new level, we can call that transformation, because you may have a new mindset, you see things differently, you behave differently or perform differently. So when you're having this backlash here, the most interesting point is what to do. So take a half a minute by yourself and reflect on that. How do you handle backlash in a productive, constructive way? So here are 3 simple steps how you can handle backlash. First of all, you need to notice that you're having a backlash. Because if you don't notice it, you are lost. There's nothing you can do. You're going to continue on with your old habits. But if you step back and say, that, I'm having a backlash right now. Isn't that interesting? Fascinating. I promised myself 2 months ago, this year should be the different year. I should really practice running a lot. And now I'm back again, just running once per week. If you can do that without judging yourself, that's the key. To not say to yourself, I'm bad, or I'm hopeless. It's just say, oh, isn't that interesting? And what can I learn from this? I can learn that I need to have a buddy that runs together with me. They can push each other, inspire each other. Or maybe I should put it into my calendar, into my iPhone, all the times I shall run. So second step is quick learning. And the interesting part is the third step. You re-choose, is this important for me to be in a good shape? And if you say yes, then you act on it immediately. You take on your running shoes, put on your clothes and go out running for at least 10 minutes. What happens inside you then is that you're showing yourself that you are serious. And I intend to break this pattern. So this is why backlash is also the point of power. This is where you break the old habits once for all. So when you're having backlash, that's a very interesting point. So I want you for the next week not to notice, just to step back sometimes and notice, am I giving feedback now the way I'm intended? And if you don't do that, don't be harsh on yourself. Instead, just noticing, isn't that interesting? I'm not appreciating my colleagues anymore, or I'm not challenging them with feedback. Interesting. What can I learn from this? Well, maybe I learned that every day I shall have a theme for myself. Today is a day of appreciation. Another day can be guide others so they can reflect on themselves. And then immediately go out and give a person, maybe somebody that is close to you, appreciation, for example, to act on it immediately. So this is what I would like you to do the next week. Observe, take a step back from yourself, and realizing that backlash is completely natural and we consciously need to break it. So good luck. This is really important, how to break the old habits once for all.